15 minutes of truth. Let's get into the mix. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Daily Mix. Excuse me, I'm your host, Amari Jahi. You know, we've been talking about the 360 degrees, cycle of life and the dashboard of human emotions, how we can look at how to deal with our emotions based on, like in a car, how the dashboard has all those gauges, and those can be all our various emotions like gauges in the car. But today, we're going into the laboratory of the soul to look at the chemistry of that energy. We call it emotions. We're looking at the chemistry of that energy emotion. Today's topic is based on emotions and the smokeless fire of the Jinn. Now, I know some of you like, the Jinn, what the hell is the Jinn? We talking about some G-I-N? No, Jinn is, the Jinn I'm talking about is J-I-N-N. And we're going to get into it. So when we leave here today, everybody's going to understand what the Jinn is. In many ancient traditions, particularly in the Eastern tradition, there is a concept of a being created not from dust like us, and not from light like the angels, but from smokeless fire. We call them the Jinn. Now, the Jinn, in traditional theology, the Jinn are emotional beings with free will, living in a parallel dimension to humans. Now, that sounds real familiar, doesn't it? Like human beings have free will, we were given free will. We could do right or do wrong based on how we feel, right? Unlike angels, who have no free will. They must obey God. The Jinn can choose to be religious or righteous or rebellious. When they choose rebellion, they are often associated with Satan, Shaitan. Metaphorically, in your teachings, metaphorically, the Jinn represents the ego and the emotional body, the part of us that has the free will to either serve our spirit or burn out of control. But we want to look at this through a spiritual lens. What if, just for example, what if the Jinn isn't just a creature in a story? What if the Jinn represents the raw, unbridled emotions of the human flesh? That smokeless fire that burns within you, consuming our logic and turning our reasoning into ash. As a spiritual being, we have a job to do. We are the masters of the house. We are supposed to be the masters of the house, I should say. That's what we're supposed to be. But yet, we often let fire into the fireplace grow so large that it burns the whole house down. Now let's get into the mix and learn how to master those flames. Angels are created from light, pure intellect, obedience. That's their motto. Now, human beings, on the other hand, are created from the dust of the earth, the physical, the finite. And last but not least, the Jinn are described as beings created from a smokeless, scorching fire. Fire is energy. It is volatile. It spreads rapidly and it is invisible until it catches on to something physical. This is the perfect metaphor for human emotions. Speaking of the smokeless fire, perfect. Angels, by definitions, are beings of absolute obedience to the universal laws of God. They represent our highest thoughts and our most disciplined actions. When a higher thought or a disciplined principle is disobeyed by the flesh, it loses its light and becomes fire. Now, what does that really mean? What is being said here is that when our emotions get out of whack, when we get angry, when we are fearful, whatever that emotion is, once that anger kicks in, we are no longer considered like light beings of God. It's saying that in this context, a jinn is a fallen state of light. So that means when you allow anger to perpetuate your atmosphere or your environment, when you become angry, light is no longer present. It is what happens when the flesh, lower desires, hijack your divine light. Now, why smokeless? Why does it have to? Well, we understand that it's because when you are in a fit of rage or consumed by jealousy, there is no smoke to warn the people around you at first. It is an internal burn. This fire is the enemy of your actual light, the light that you bear. It burns through the reasoning process, making it impossible to see what you are experiencing clearly. You cannot do the math of your life with your mental calculator is on fire and melting. Fire isn't evil, though. In a stove, it cooks your food. In the furnace, it warms the house. Emotions, when controlled by the spirit, becomes passion, drive, and empathy. So those are all good things. Now, our job as spiritual beings is to subjugate these emotions, put them under control. We must take the raw, chaotic energy of the flesh and force it into service of the positive spirit. Now, for an example, when you get angry, that energy must be worked off. Doing home cleaning when angry helps to work it off, as well as going to the gym. If you want to go to the gym and work out, that extinguishes the fire. We harness that energy and we direct it in a positive way for us in our life. When we feel that heat rising, that urge to react, to shout, to quit, recognize it as the jinn attempting to rise. Remind yourself, I'm the pilot. I'm driving this car. This is the fire of the engine, but I decide the direction where this energy is going to go. This is why I'm saying when you decide you want to clean up when you're angry, or when you go to the gym when you're angry, you're deciding how that energy is going to burn off. Not by taking a bat upside somebody's head or going to somebody's house and keying their car because they cheated on you or whatever. By staying obedient to your higher principles, the angelic state of mind, you keep the fire contained and you keep it productive. So now, you are being a light, operating in a body that is of the dust of the ground, right? Now, either you're going to let that fire come in and consume your light and burn all the bridges in your life, But we don't want to do that. Don't let the jinn of your emotions take the throne. The moment you lose your reasoning, you've handed the keys of the kingdom to the fire, to the jinn. Stay obedient to the higher laws within you. Use that fire to build, to heat and transform, not to destroy. Again, I can't say this enough. When you find yourself feeling emotional or having some emotional response to a situation, you need to find ways to burn that emotion off other than the ways we've been allowing ourselves to do it, with violence and doing things out of control and things of that nature. So that's all I got today, y'all. Keep your minds sharp, keep your spirits grounded, and keep your emotions under control. I'll catch you next time on The Mix. I'm Amari Jaheed. I'm out. Peace.
Take care of your mind, take care of your health, and we'll be back in the mix tomorrow at 12 noon. Till then, peace out.